Everybody, what's going on? Welcome to another episode of Personal Mastery Training, the Alliance. We got my co-partner here, Brandon Anderson. We are about to deliver to you a brand new, fresh, Happy New Year episode. This one's, I think this one's a perfect episode to hopefully spark you into jumping this new year, commit to yourself, and make it happen this year. This is the year. Yesterday you said today. Today's here. So let's do this. Today's topic of conversation is about 1,000 excuses. This is what we're going to call it, 1,000 excuses. And here's the idea. If we elaborate on that title, it says there's 1,000 excuses, but no good reason. Because when it comes to, let's take this time of year. This is a time of year, everyone. I've been in the fitness industry, or health and wellness industry and fitness industry together for 33 years or more, 34 years, somewhere around there. And the common problem with this time of year, and everyone who goes to a gym, this is a running joke. You can't find a parking spot, right? You can't find a parking spot. You can't find a treadmill. The place is rammed. However, those who have been in it for a while knows just lay low till about 3 weeks, 4 weeks or so, and then we're gone. It's empty again. It's a bowling alley. You can bring your shoes, your bowling shoes, and have a bowling in that place. It's empty. And then right around, I would say there's a lot of excuses from here on in. From about February, March, my body's in pain. Oh, geez, I'm not seeing the changes yet. Oh, I've got this going on, that going on, so on and so on. I'm not ready yet. Then possibly maybe, summertime, you might see, but summer we can go outside. We don't need to go in the gym this time. So we'll just go outside and I'll really get going this summer. And then, but you know what? So much barbecues and invitations to this. I'm gonna wait. Then the next big area for gyms to boost their membership is right around September. Because remember, September now, the kids go back to school. There's more structure. Summer was tough, man. It was tough getting to that gym because, we had so much barbecues and so much get-togethers, and there's only so much summers, and so when the kids go back though, when I put them in school, I'm gonna more structure. The kids get to bed on time. We're gonna do it then. Damn it. October, it's there's a lot of things going on. Thanksgiving's coming up in Canada. It's October, November. It's in the U.S. and then there's Christmas. So got a lot of parties. We'll wait then. New Year's, new me, new year, new me. Let's do it. Excuses again. 1,000 excuses we can come up with why we didn't get to that gym, why it didn't work. But there's no good reason, because the reasons for getting to that gym is longevity, your health. And you tell me, anybody on this planet, 8.0 billion, someone come to me and tell me what's more important than health. Tell me, is it your family? Okay, well, if they're taking care of you because you can't be here, or you can't support them, or is it money? We all know that's not true. I can't think of anything that's more important than your health. And I don't mean existing, I mean thriving in your body, not just getting through another day, thriving, able to shovel that snow, run up that hill, chase your grandkids or your kids, throw a ball with them. You tell me what's more important. So that's what we're going to dive into. It's Brandon and I. 1,000 excuses. And we don't have to stop at health, by the way. We can go into your business, whatever it might be that you want to be, do, and have. There's 1,000 excuses why we can't have it, but there's no good reason why you can't get it done. All right, Brandon.
Yeah, man, what a timely topic of discussion, and what a great one. And you're right, Al. This is applicable to everything. It's not just health. And Health's the
Everything.
easy one. That's a great painted a great picture of the truth
Mm-hmm.
around the thousand excuses and the gym member. I mean, what a great time to be a gym owner
Yeah. Right.
right now. There's
Right.
Scrooge. There's
Oh, this
Scrooge
is it.
McDuck in it right now.
Oh, this is it.
Swimming
This is it.
through,
Yeah.
swimming through the gold. So to speak. And
Yep.
uh, and I just lived that the other day. I went to the gym, and my gym. It's a big gym. It's a popular chain.
Right.
And the first day, January 1, there was no parking. I parked at
Yeah.
the very. I usually park at the back anyways, just to get them extra steps in. But
Yeah.
it was wild, and the
Yeah.
gym's full, and it's good to see. And there's all walks of life,
Mm-hmm.
but you find yourself look. I'm on the treadmill looking around, and you're seeing people like I wonder if I'm going to see them,
Yeah.
and thinking about the excuses they're going to come up with. And then there's the larger people. And I'm a bigger guy, come from big stock, and
Mm-hmm.
that's no excuse,
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
say, oh, well, I'm big boned. It's in the genes.
Exactly.
And there's a limited truth to that. But having been over 400 pounds and having lost 110,
Mm-hmm.
and even more, so to speak, it's there was no good excuse, and I had a
Mm-hmm.
thousand of them.
Yeah.
And I think that, and I could go into all of that, but you have to, you gotta, it takes some soul searching and a gut check
Mm-hmm.
to really ask yourself, what kind of life do I want?
Mm-hmm.
You talked about moving and chasing your grandkids, and we were by design, we're not meant to be still,
No.
right? And we weren't meant to be alone. We were
Yep.
meant to be in community.
Yep.
And I think one of the best ways to avoid those 1,000 plus excuses
Mm-hmm.
is to find you a partner, find you someone that's going to, an accountability partner, people call them, or a coach, or a sponsor, right? If that's your struggle, and that's what
Mm-hmm.
you need, um or just a friend to walk that path with you, that's like-minded, whether it's in your
Mm-hmm.
professional world and environment, or personal.
Yep.
Maybe you're wanting to be a better dad, or you're wanting to be a better mom, or maybe it is health, and you're wanting to go down that path to
Mm-hmm.
just get healthier. Well, find somebody that is either already there or getting there, has been there, done that, got the t-shirt kind of thing,
Mm-hmm.
and talk to them, overcome that fear. And that's, I think that's a lot of it too, Al, why we come up with all these excuses is fear.
Yeah.
Why
Yep.
we're afraid. We're either afraid of the work it's going to take,
Mm-hmm.
but I think it's more than that. I think if we get to the root of it, it's fear of looking in the mirror and
Mm-hmm.
looking deep into the mirror, not just looking past the reflection, looking deep into yourself and realizing, man, at the end of the day, I'm responsible. Nobody's coming
Mm-hmm.
to save you. There is no magic pill. There is
Yep.
no easy button,
Yep.
and it all falls on me. And whether I win or lose, I'm successful or not, at the end of the day, it's all up to me. And
Mm-hmm.
these excuses are just passing the buck and the blame, when it's going to fall nowhere but in your own lap.
Yep.
And you know, what other people think of you, your excuse, the sympathy, the pity parties. At the end of it, none of it matters.
No.
You're responsible, and I think you have to take ownership of that response. And once you do, you get past that fear, you get past that pride. No
Mm-hmm.
matter what the discipline is, so to speak, or the subject, or the goal or vision you have, personally, professionally, health, whatever. That's step one, doing that, and then start putting your work into action, whatever it may be.
Yeah. 100%. 100%. Um. Yeah. I love a lot of what you're saying here. Is first of all, we weren't meant to be still, and we're gonna switch it up a little bit too, and talk more too. If it's not about fitness, let's talk to your personal development, your professional development. Fitness is not your issue. You're fine. You look good, and you're healthy enough. Well, What about that advancement in your life, in your career? You maybe even been in that cubicle, or I love the Jim Rohn quote that says, "Your raise becomes effective when you do." And a lot of times people sit and they want somebody to give me a raise. Well, why don't we just go out and add value to? And it's, if you work for yourself, it could be your customers, your clients. You want to elevate your game, raise your game, but that involves you. I remember back in 2000, Brandon and I were talking prior to this call, and I was saying I was talking to one of my university professors, and she's my university professor from 2005. Now, 2005, it was funny. We were on a phone call just recently, and she said, she was reflecting back, remember seeing me in the back of the room, and she said, I was wondering the reason why we connected. Said we really connected, but it's because I was wondering, what's this guy's story? How does he look like he's an older gentleman, and he's sitting in the back? Because I was in my 30s, my mid 30s, about to have my fourth son, my fourth child. Because she said, "How many kids do you have?" And I said, "Three." She goes, I said, "Four." She said, "Four? I thought you had three." I said, "Oh, yeah. I remember I just had, oh, my son turned 20. I didn't have him when I was in the class." So she said, "Yeah, I was wondering with you." So my point there is, I had a lot of excuses. I wanted to get my degree back then. And it was the last thing on my education, my professional list that I wanted to get. And I would make a ton of excuses why I couldn't. Oh, I have kids. I'm too old. By now, I've got responsibilities because I was the main bread earner in my house. A ton of excuses. Don't have time. And it was funny. I had three women who were my clients who came into me and with three different excuses that I had that they killed it. One was in her 60s. She just got her degree. The other one was she had 4 or 5 kids. And then finally, a university professor had a car accident. She came into me, and as I was talking to her, she said, "Oh yeah, this is what you got to do." So the universe basically set up my path. So I had a ton of excuses, but one thing I said to myself is this: yes, I'm in my mid 30s. By society's terms, yeah, you're older. Gonna go back to school. Geez, time and blah blah. But I said, I'm gonna be 40 anyways. Time is gonna move forward anyways. If I get started now, I'm gonna be 40 with a degree, as opposed to being 40 and thinking, oh, maybe I should have got started when I was in my mid 30s. So I said, okay, you know what? That's it. The universe lined me up. I started. And I look at that picture now, and that was in 2009 that I graduated. I got my degree in 2009. Is now 2026. We're going on, 15, 16 years. That's how fast that goes. So I had a ton of excuses, 1,000 of them. If anybody wants to borrow any of them, I can give it to you. But there was no good reason not to get started. So I jumped in. So if we're not talking about your health right now, which is where we started, the easy one, the low hanging fruit right now, what about your career? Is there something you could do? What about your relationship? There's 1,000 excuses not to work on it, maybe, but no good reason if it means something to you. So Brandon touched on the influence, people who influence you. I love the wisdom that says you're a sum total of the 5 people. When you look around at your friend group and you look at the 5 people that are around you, what are they doing? How are they influencing you? Take inventory. Because if you said, tomorrow I should go work out, and that friend says, I'm not gonna bother with that right now. I'll do that later, or come out for a beer, or they're not supporting it, then yeah, you most likely you're not going to make the change that you want. So take inventory first of all of who you're hanging with, your environment, how are you being influenced. Then Brandon touched on another powerful one: being real with yourself. False evidence appearing real. Fear. The fear of failing on yourself. I think that's why a lot of people don't set goals. I don't believe in goal setting. What? Yes, you do believe in goal setting. I'm sure you absolutely said to your at the beginning of the week, I said, honey, let's go somewhere by the end of the week. That's a goal. Let's go to work and get this project done. That's a goal. So this idea that I don't believe in goals, it's impossible. Your intention to want to eat something in the morning. Oh, you know what? I'd love to eat a burger and fries tomorrow. That's a goal. So this idea that we don't set goals and we don't believe in them is false. It's false. The only thing that we don't set goals too high, again, another wisdom I love is Les Brown. The issue is, he said, the issue with humans is that they don't set a goal too high and miss. They set it too low and hit. Because we always want to set goals to things we know we can achieve. And we have so much potential. Again, I go to my mentors, my mentors that I know and mentors that I don't know, and the books I read, and I go to them for wisdom. And the wisdom here is my mentor, Dr. Tom Hill. He said, you can't dream big enough. And he's right. Because if I asked you to do 20 push ups, oh man, 20, whoa, oof, that's a lot. But what if I say do 2 push ups, 10 sets of 2 push ups, and you do your 2, you rest for 30, 60 seconds, you do your 2, you did 20. But I get you to keep going with that. And over next month, you're doing 2 sets of 10 push-ups. Next month, you did 20. Now you're going 20 push-ups. My client that works with me, my assistant, she started off 4 or 5 years ago, unable to do 10 push-ups. Now she's dropping 20 push-ups in a row, 4 sets of 20 push-ups. She couldn't do 20 4 years ago. It takes time though. So false evidence appearing real. We don't want to fail ourselves, so we say we don't set goals. It's absolutely, you see, humans are goal setting organisms. We wouldn't be enjoying this podcast, this call, this connection. Brandon's all the way in the US, I'm in Canada. We wouldn't be connecting with each other like this as if someone didn't set a goal to, we wouldn't be living in houses and lights. And so we are goal seeking organisms, we're goal setting organisms. It's false. So 1,000 excuses, no good reason. So I'll pass it back to Brandon. I got another thing I want to add after that. I'm gonna give Brandon a chance to.
Yeah, man. Good stuff. The and so true on what you mentioned there about we don't, setting the goal too high, we set it too low and we hit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm reminded of some, I've heard this multiple times, different ways it was expressed or analogies, but if your goal or your dream doesn't scare you, then it ain't big enough,
It ain't big enough.
right? And,
Mm-hmm.
and too often we, because of that, back to that fear piece, you have to get over that fear, master that fear
Mm-hmm.
of whatever it is. you know we choose these low goals, these low standards, substandard, and in some cases substandard, and it's a feel good. It's that
Mm-hmm.
dopamine hit, like, oh, I did that. I did those two
Mm-hmm.
push-ups,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll do another two, but total it's 10,
Yeah.
right? We pat ourselves on the back and we go on about our day and
Yeah.
and move on with life. But uh, what did you really accomplish?
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I think the takeaway is to really self-reflect on what do you truly want.
Mm.
And it may seem impossible, the goal settings, legit vision boards. I've talked to
Mm-hmm.
people like, just like you said, oh, I don't set goals. I've been working on a vision board and taking some notes. I haven't put it together yet, but there is substantial truth and research that backs up vision boards and manifesting,
Mm-hmm.
visually or visualizing what it is that you want your life to be or to have, and etc.
Mm-hmm.
And it coming, it developing and coming to fruition and being right there and happening over
Mm-hmm.
time. So I think it's that the takeaway is recognizing your fear and start setting those what would feel like or seem to be unattainable goals, and commit to that, and then take action. Again, we weren't meant to be still in this life. And it's interesting. that you talk to. I got a family member right now, and I've known multiple others, knee replacement surgery, hip replacement surgery, right? And what's the number one thing they tell you to do as soon as you have knee or hip replacement?
Hmm.
It's
Yep.
move.
Move.
Move. And if you don't move because you're afraid you're going to fall, it's going to hurt. There's a little bit of pain in that progress, right?
Hmm.
In reaching those goals. Maybe that pain is you're cutting certain people out of your life, right? You're moving on from them. You've outgrown them, right? They're not adding to what you're doing. Or maybe that pain is you have to stop spending money on this or that, things that
Hmm.
don't matter, right? Because you want to have money and you want to invest or you want to save and pay off this, that, or whatever it is. Well, maybe you need to stop spending it on that latte every single day,
Hmm.
right? Or that eating out, right? Maybe you bring your lunch, and it sounds easier and it sounds so juvenile because we've all heard these things. This is
Hmm.
nothing new, right?
Yeah.
It's just the matter of fact is it is that
Mm.
simple,
Yeah.
and we overcomplicate things. So identify that fear, identify that goal, and then take action and start stepping and walking towards it and
Hmm.
move.
Yeah. Love it.
And you'll be surprised. You'll look back one day and you'll have moved a mountain
Hmm. Yep.
and be like, man, how did I get here? And it'll be beautiful. But then don't plateau,
Mm.
right?
Keep
Don't
moving.
plateau.
Keep
What's
moving.
that next? What's that next mountain peak, right? What's that
Hmm.
next thing,
Yeah.
right? Because honestly, I don't think we're ever truly satisfied and be like, I'm good.
No.
I think that's just one of the 1,000 excuses.
Yeah. Yep. 100%. This is again, it goes back to Brandon, who you're hanging out with.
Yeah.
Because if your friend group is playing at a, you know, medium game and you got to medium, you're gonna say, "Wow, I'm better than I'm I'm good." Meanwhile, there is another level of a game that you can play, and this is why leveling up, whatever it is, and again, don't our listeners don't get stuck at just fitness. We're talking about your. How many of you listening want a better financial life? How many of you listening want to elevate in your company that you work for or your business that you're running? This is all the same thing. It's the same philosophy that we're sharing with you. Is first of all, Brandon mentioned visualization. Yes, crucial. You can't hit a target you can't see. And if you can't see it, you really and truly you can't have it. And again, we go back to Bible sayings of, those without a vision, they shall perish. And it's the same thing. If you can't see it in your mind, you can't receive it then, because we if we can see and get a why, the stronger your why is, it's easier to keep going. What is your why for doing? What is your reason for wanting to change your health, your relationship, your fitness, your finance? What is your reason? You don't want to. Some people are towards a goal, while some people are away from pain. We're driven by one of two things: pain or pleasure. So I'm a towards person. So I don't get turned on by you telling me if I lose weight or if I get in shape, I'm not going to be in pain anymore. I'm not going to have the life like this anymore. I don't get driven by, I get driven by what's to come. If you tell me if I get in shape, I can conquer this mountain, that's what drives me. So you have to figure out what drives you. Is it what gets you up in the morning? Is it to get out of your current situation that you're in, that you don't want to have your house repossessed and your car repossessed? Are you tired of living that life? That's maybe what will drive you to get away, to get up every morning and go do the extra work, do the extra class, sign up for the course. That might get you going. You might have seen somebody in your family die of diabetes or heart disease, and it runs in your. So now that might get you going. But also, I'm the type of person that wouldn't drive me as much. What would drive me is, what do I look like? What energy will I have when I do this? See, those are towards, you want to move towards something. So you got to first of all, figure out what kind of person you are. Because we might be telling you to get out of your situation, but that doesn't seem to drive you. What about what will you'll get? The carrot stick thing. What will I get if I do these actions? That's what I want. I want that lifestyle. I want to be in that neighborhood. I want to. Jim Carrey would have that the story of driving in the Hollywood mountains and looking at these homes and wishing, and wrote himself a check. You know, so he created a vision. He wrote himself a check for 10 million. I think it was $10 million, and he carried that around. And his first movie he signed was Dumb and Dumber, and it paid him 10 million. You know, what drives you? Figure that out, right? What will you look like? Vision boards. Put your picture of your how you'd want to look on that vision board. So that's something I would say is powerful. And Brandon went back to something he said. He didn't say it in this words, but this is what he meant was fundamentals. Stick to fundamentals. Don't get. I see sometimes in the gym, I see people they go and look at some YouTube or whatever it is. And back in the day, we didn't have YouTube in the 90s, but I see them come in and they're overweight, they're not in shape, and they're trying to do fancy things on a ball, and they're doing all these. No, you know what you need to do? Get in there, get on that treadmill, do 10 push ups, do 20 push ups, and end your day. Go back, come back tomorrow, do the basics, fundamentals, do some squats, ear squats. Don't worry about the weights on you yet. Don't do any kettlebells or any fancy. No, move. Fundamentals. Get your body moving. Sit down. Get up off of a ball. Simple, simple, simple. And then you get bored with that. Then you add some more to it. Next thing you know, a year later, you are doing ball exercise, but they're being done right. You got TRX. You got all kinds of things you can do, but keep it simple. Have fun. End early before you are sore. Don't do too much at the beginning. Really simple, and just build the fundamentals, right? And Brandon also mentioned compounding. You didn't get where you are now financially, fitness, overnight, but somehow we want to solve our problems overnight. We want to go to the gym for 6 weeks and we have the rock hard body. Meanwhile, it took you 6 years, 16 years to get out of shape due to compounding. So take your time, have some fun with it. And Brandon also said, if you're not growing, you're dying. Human beings, we have, Tony Robbins often mentions this, 6 human needs. One of our human needs is uh, variety. Okay, we need variety in our lives. If you're I used to see back in the gym days, aerobics teachers was it's a very aerobics were very big in the 90s. I used to see aerobics teachers who were soft and who didn't have a lot of muscularity, and they're doing 8 classes a day, 7 classes a day. I'm wondering, how are you soft? Well, the same aerobics class which made them get in shape in the beginning is after a year of doing it, the body adjusts to that level of fitness, and it's not exercise anymore. It's just what they do. It's like people who say, "Oh, I don't have to go to the gym. My work's pretty physical." Well, how long you been doing the work? Oh, 15 years. Not It doesn't record on your body anymore. That's just set point now. You got to challenge yourself. You got to do something, because the body, human beings, we adapt too quickly. This human body, the one thing I learned about it is its main number one job is to adapt to its environment. Number one. That's how we survive. We adapt to our environment. So the minute I start doing that exercise, the first day I do exercise number one, I'm like sore. First month, still some sores, not as much. 6 months later, it's not even recording anymore. I got to change it up. We got to change up add a different exercise. I change my exercise patterns every 5 weeks. Every 5 to 6 weeks, I change the pattern, do something different. I'll throw in kettlebells. I'll throw in ropes. I'll do weights. I'll do power, more powerlifting type. Then I'll go back to bodybuilding, high reps, low weight. I'm always changing because my body will adapt, and you'll not see any change anymore. So human beings, we do need change. Even in your life, look at your relationship. Same old, same old. Again, you need some spice. You guys, you and your partner have to plan. Like, what are we gonna do next year? How are we gonna grow together? How are we gonna what's your goals for this year, 2026? What do you want to do together? You want to learn something new? Let's go here. Let's go hiking. Let's go. It can't be the same thing in any part of your life. Your job, same thing. Your clients, are you giving them the same thing that you've given them 20 years ago? They're bored now. There's somebody coming out with something a little bit better. You got to go and look around. So anyways, it's the same. We apply it everywhere. We can have, the main theme here is There's 1,000 excuses we can come up with why this year, next year, this time I'll start next month, but there's no good reason not to go for your potential. What is your potential? Go for it, right? So Brandon, I'm gonna hand that back to you rather before
Man, yeah.
you know what I
So
mean?
what such good stuff there. You talking about change, and you mentioned relationships, and we as humans change naturally. We evolve. Research shows like every 5 to 7 years in that
Yeah,
range, we're a
yeah.
different person,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yep.
Totally. There might be some similar traits or those core foundational uh, pieces or traits of our personality and who we are and what drives us, but we change as individuals. So it is so crucial to change it up. And you said what, every 5 to 7 weeks you change
Yeah.
up your physical fitness routine.
Yeah.
And that might work for you, but for somebody else it might be 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Somebody else it might be even longer, like 10 weeks.
Yeah.
But you are absolutely correct, whether it is our physical fitness and physicality of plateauing out and just becoming routine. Like I talk to folks all the time in the construction industry that, like, well, man, my job is physically demanding. And it's like, yeah, but you still got a pot belly,
Yeah. Bingo.
right? Right.
Bingo.
Then why don't you look like one of those guys or gals in that poster behind you? All right.
Right.
Now,
Right.
right. I mean, because if that was the
Exactly.
case, you should be cut, right,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
jacked.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
you're not
No.
because you're right. The body,
Adapt.
physically, and also mentally,
Mm-hmm.
right? So
Mm-hmm.
don't allow yourself to plateau out,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yep.
What's that next? Change it up, and like you said in relationships, spice it up a little bit if that's the
Mm-hmm.
case, or look at that next goal, set that goal, and go after it,
Yeah.
right? If it's just routine, and you're
Yep.
feeling like it's routine after you've leveled up, then it's time to
Mm-hmm.
change it, right?
Yeah.
Change it up and level up again. Otherwise, you're
Yeah.
going to plateau and flatline.
Easy.
You talked about the individuals that, from a physical standpoint, that they're trying to do these fancy movements and
Mm-hmm.
3 movements in one, and this
Right.
this high intensity workout stuff. It truly is as simple as air squats.
That's it.
Getting your
That's where we
body.
start.
That's right. Start simple, and then work through that, and you'll
Yeah.
start seeing results from a physicality. The
Mm-hmm.
people you hang out with mentally, right? What's the baseline train of thought, right? Is it a bunch of excuses of why you can't do something?
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. Is it like, well, this is only as good as it's going to get,
Mm-hmm.
or are you around dreamers and visionaries, people
Mm-hmm.
that, hey, I'm not satisfied here. I'm not satisfied here. I
Mm-hmm.
want there.
Yeah.
That's what I want up there.
Yeah.
And
Right.
then that's going to drive you naturally. That instinctive, competitive nature that's at our core,
Mm-hmm.
to the soul, is going to
Yeah.
kick in, and you'll be doing stuff that you never thought you could do. You'll be
Mm-hmm.
you'll be doing things you don't even realize you're doing
Yeah.
to reach that goal from a competitive standpoint, right? And that's why it's so important on finding somebody, or that accountability partner, or that partner, to walk that path with you and that
Mm-hmm.
journey to level up at the
I'm
end of the
gonna I'm gonna quickly jump in and
day.
say
Yeah,
because
jump
I
in.
can hear this that person saying, well, see, this is why our society is going through because you people are always retelling you to go for what can you be happy. We're not telling not to. They're not saying not to be happy where you are. Not never did we say don't be happy with what you have currently. That's the best place to start. First of all, is to start with gratitude. What you have is perfect. But what we're saying here is the change. Death. There's two things that I know of are certain. Well, they say three, right? But two, death and change, and then they say taxes. But right, death and change. You cannot stop change. If you say I'm gonna go live in a mountain, oh, why does things have to change? I'm not gonna be a part of this. I'm gonna go to a mountain and live. Guess what? You're a day older. And Brandon said something earlier. He said we change constantly. But here's what I would say to that, to jack that up even more. Brandon is not the same person as he was yesterday. He went to an event yesterday that changed him. He's changed a little bit. So he's constantly, after this call, he's going to change again. After today's experience, something might change him again. So we're constantly in flux and in change. So we're not telling our listeners to not be happy, because I could hear when Brendan said that, I'm listening to that person going, he said, I'm not gonna stop here. I'm gonna go up to here. And some people go, well, see, this is why a lot of our society. No, Brandon's saying he's happy here, but it's exciting to aim for here too, and keep that as a. He doesn't say get there tomorrow too, by the way. He's also saying let's have some fun while we aim for there, and once we get there, let's look up again and see, is there something more fun there? But we're gonna have fun while we have this. So I wanted to make sure that the listeners don't walk away with this self-defeating conversation of feeling overwhelmed because everyone's always telling you to go reach for this. No, what we're saying is have fun, knowing that there's so much more for us to explore. So I wanted to
Yeah.
add that to what you're saying, Brent.
No, so true. And you touched on gratitude, and so often it's foundational. It's a pillar to these conversations and this personal mastery we talk so often about every Sunday. Uh, you know, Listening to you add to that, Al, I couldn't help but think about if you made the comment about I attended an event yesterday and that it changed me and really quick. And at the same time, I'm thinking about my thoughts on the drive home, three and a half
Mm-hmm.
hour drive home last night
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
of things I wanted to do differently because of that event.
Right.
So
Changing.
what I'm taking away from this, what I'm going to share with everyone is if what you're doing isn't challenging you, if it isn't
Mm-hmm.
changing you or
Yeah.
driving you or encouraging, you know,
Mm-hmm.
for you to change your behavior or your actions or your goals, then what are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
Right? If it doesn't challenge you to be better, and look, if you're okay with that, that's fine. That's on you. That's if you're okay right here or even way up here, right? Way up here, if you're okay there, and that's you've reached your goal and that's where you want to be, okay.
Mm-hmm.
But I would ask you to ask yourself what's your why
Mm-hmm.
and what do you truly want?
Yeah.
And because we change, it's why no one's ever truly satisfied right here or
Right.
even
For
right up
long.
there. That for
Yeah.
long. They
Yeah.
say they are like, man, I've arrived. And you know what happens? They
Now
get
what?
bored. They
Yeah.
now what? They
Now
get
what?
bored, and
Yeah.
they plateau out.
Yeah.
And so I would we just totally debunked the whole I'm good where I'm at
Yeah.
theory, right? No,
And
you're not, and
yeah.
we're never truly satisfied.
No.
But you need to zero in, focus in on what it is you truly want, and you could go a step. We could spin off on this and go a step further. And what's the impact, right? What's the legacy
Mm-hmm.
you're leaving behind,
Yeah.
right, for others?
Yeah.
What kind of example were you? And back and circling back to the gratitude pieces and having fun,
Mm-hmm.
embrace the suck. What does
Yeah.
that really mean?
Yeah.
Even in the mundane, the routine, the keeping it simple routines, the basic steps, you're going to find yourself bored sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's an opportunity. That doesn't necessarily mean that's not an excuse to like, oh well, I just got to give it all up, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And stop. This isn't working. No, no, no. Or I
Yeah.
haven't gotten there yet. Or how long? He said to change and to do it, change it up. And some of that level basic stuff is necessary to level up. And what I'm saying about embrace the suck is just it's the mindset of I get to do this,
Mm-hmm. Get
not
to.
that I have to do it.
Yeah. Get to is huge.
Right.
Huge.
You get to do it. And someone said something to me the other day. I'm in the process of writing a blog on this, and it's mission over monument.
Mm-hmm.
Is it
Mm-hmm.
about the mission or is it about the monument?
All right.
So with that, I'll pass the mic.
Yeah, just like that, you're gonna drop that. Huh? Okay,
Yeah.
I see how you're working. All right, I see how you're working. So, a couple things before we finish off here. Before we go, we could go on about this. Couple things. Now, Brent, I might get you to help me to tease this out if I'm gonna say it right, but I want people to realize something. Right now, as we speak, the unfortunate part about life is the world keeps turning and the time keeps ticking forward. And so we are on this race, and sorry, you're in it. I don't care if you don't like competition, you're in it. We're on this race against time, this race against change. It's constant. Again, you are a year older. 2026 rolled over, you're a year older. Something in your body is, and it might sound, depressing or something, but something in your body is now degenerating. Tissue, muscle tissue, some tissue, or some a cell is now flipping over, dying, and a new one's coming up. It's this thing is rolling as we speak. It's rolling, and I'm very mindful of this. So for me, for 30 years, I've been in the health and wellness field, helping people and watching. I've had clients for 30 years, and I've watched them age, and some have passed on, and some have, but I've watched this transition of time happening, and I'm fully aware. I'm 58 this year. I'm fully aware in 20 years I'll be 78 if I'm blessed enough to have that life. I'll be 78. And I just started working with my mentor. He's 80 this year. And he says, Alvin, I want to look like you. And we laugh and everything else, right? Because he's 80 now, he's a big strapping stud. But I love that. He's 80 and he still wants to be his best at 80 because time is moving. He wants to get moving with time. He knows there's a race on with time, and it's a enjoyable race. It's not a hurried pace where we're stressfully going. No, it's a fun pace. I'm gonna be the best 78-year-old in 20 years if I'm blessed enough. I'm gonna be the best 88-year-old in 30 years. I want to be the best at that time. And so because I realize that time and change is happening. Look at our society. Imagine, and Brandon, you talked about getting comfortable at a certain, this is good enough. Imagine we'd be still whipping that horse and buggy because, it's, if we didn't get uncomfortable with horse and buggy, now they created the horseless carriage and now it's, and then now we're into electrical cars now. Like that's what we were talking about. So it's going to happen anyway. So why not be AI? Let's look at AI now. Oh, everyone's fearful. Oh, it's going to take over. Jobs are going to be lost. And it might be some jobs, but guess, in my opinion, the jobs that'll be lost are the people who are resisting change. What if you see AI coming and you say, instead of being a victim of AI, why don't I be uh, ahead of the curve and learn about AI? That way, when it gets going, I'm at the forefront. I'm now valuable and I can use AI. It's coming anyways. Remember, we were fearful of the internet. We were fearful. I mean, who was running Blockbuster when Netflix offered to, right? And those people, can you imagine a board of directors sitting at a table saying, no, no internet for us. Let's keep going this bricks and mortar store. I mean, Netflix just sided with Paramount or whatever they own a whole studio now. They're running football games. Who was sitting there going, this is never going to take off? It's happening anyways. So instead of being a victim of change, let's be a victor of it. Let's be a part of the whole game and constantly upgrade our lives and upgrade ourselves. So anyways, we could go on and on about, let me see the last topic. Oh, get to. Brennan finished me off with that. We get to. I'm gonna make this simple. I want you to, our listeners, to solidify this point. I want you to do two things if you're up for it. Visit either a cemetery or a hospital, and then complain to me about I have to go to the gym, or I have to sign up for this program to upgrade myself, or I have to do whatever. Or never even mind those two places. Take a look at TV and look at some war torn places where they don't get to. They don't
Hmm.
have an option. And to realize that we have it really good here. We get to live out our passions if we want to. In a free democratic society. We get to sign up for something. Government programs are helping us, or we can go to bed a little later, wake up a little earlier to study, do some home study, some online study, get a little degree and move yourself. It's up to us. We get to. So, anyways, with that,
Man, yeah, we could totally keep going. You know,
yeah,
I'm always saying part two, right? Part
part
two.
two,
You
part
touched
two. This,
on, you brought up comfort
mm-hmm.
and getting comfortable, and okay, that's fine. But as you said, change, it's going to happen no matter what.
It's happening. It's happening
And I'm reminded of a quote that I see pretty regularly, and it's comfort is the enemy of growth.
yeah,
So get uncomfortable,
every
right?
time.
And time, I thought about this a lot yesterday, the event I was at. Time is a thief.
Mm, mm-hmm.
Time is the ultimate thief.